episode of Straight Shooting Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Dujane Bland. And today we're going to talk about the Thursday night matchup. We're going to break that down a little bit, that matchup between the Cardinals and the 49ers. And we're going to talk a little bit about Odell Beckham and whether his emotions are a distraction for the New York Giants. Well, let us get us into this Thursday night matchup that's going to kick our football weekend off between the Arizona Cardinals, who are 1-3, and the San Francisco 49ers, who are also 1-3. Both of these teams, when we looked at the beginning of the year, we figured that the Cardinals would definitely be a team that is better than what the record shows. I feel like we've been bamboozled by them a little bit, being that they've come out and really not looked like the team that we would have thought they would have been on offense, with Carson Palmer leading the charge, with the defense that they showed last year. None of that has come to fruition at all. It's kind of a weird sight to see the Rams 3-1, along with the Seattle Seahawks being 3-1. Uh, so coming into this matchup, this is a big matchup for both teams. Both teams want to get a win here, especially in the division. That's very important. Along with adding another win to that column, trying to keep pace with the other two teams in their division. Now the 49ers, they're going to come into this thing missing Navarro Bowman, who is out for the season with a torn Achilles. Nick Ballore will get his first start at linebacker. So they're going to have some changes on defense. We know how much Bowman brings to the table, being able to get in, make tackles, close up those running lanes. And their defense really has done a fair job, even though the offense hasn't really produced on a consistent basis. And we know why that is with Blaine Gabbert at quarterback. He did light it up in the first half or first quarter and a half of the Dallas game, and just as soon as he got caught fire, he went ice cold. And that's really been the telling tale of this offense, where there's things that happen, whether it's penalties, whether it's missed throws, drop balls, and they get out of a rhythm, and the next thing you know, we have successions of 3-and-outs. The defense gets tired, and the next thing you know, they're playing catch up. They're going to have an opportunity just as much as the Cardinals going to have an opportunity to win this game, just because Carson Palmer is out. Suffered a concussion at the end of last week's game, and coming into this game, he did not pass concussion protocol, so he will be out. Drew Stanton will get the start. And we've seen Drew before. He's done a stand-up job when he's been in and been called upon. He's had to start before for this team. And they have weapons in the running game, also in the passing game. And what's really going to be key for both of these teams is for their defenses to step up and make plays and get the opposing team's offense off the field in a quick fashion. That's something that the Cardinals really has been their Achilles heel this year, is being able to get teams off the field on third downs. They end up being behind early. They're giving up. They're giving up a lot of yards, and they're not getting a lot. When you look at their defensive comparison of what they allow and what they get, especially what they get here, 313 yards total. And we look at the 49ers, they're giving up 390 on the offensive side. So their defense is giving up 390. So look, I mean, has the makings to be a shootout, being that both defenses really with the injuries over there with the San Francisco 49ers and with the history of this Cardinals defense, this could be a shootout. But we know Thursday night matchups, really, honestly, you can throw the stats out of the window. Uh, Historically, after the first game, which was incredible, we haven't had a great Thursday night game since. And I said it at the beginning of the season before the Thursday night game started that most Thursday night games are garbage. And I think early this is probably going to be a pretty close game. But I'm going to give the win to Drew Stanton. Drew is going to come in here. I think he just has more weapons. He has more weapons. That defense is a lot better than what they've played, and they're going to get an opportunity to kind of get right, so to speak, against this really one-dimensional, gimmicky Blaine Gabbert offense. He's made some. Don't get me wrong. Blaine Gabbert has made some incredible throws. He looked like a world beater in the first quarter of that Dallas game in San Francisco. And of course, there's times where he looks good, and then the wheels always fall off. They become one dimensional. If you can stop the run, force them to be kind of a read optiony, and force him to make some throws, um, they become very inconsistent. Along with penalties, putting them in third and longs would be something that would be to the Cardinals' favor. Again, the Cardinals have formidable defense. They haven't played up to that level, but they have the talent over there. And I think this is going to be a game where they're going to get right against the 49ers team. Drew Stanton, a guy who's been here, done that, subbed in for um, Carson Palmer many times, will come in and do the same thing this time, and they're going to get the win. I don't like the 49ers in this game at all, and with the way things have gone with these games, um, it's going to be a lopsided affair. And yes, it's in San Francisco, and that's nice and all, but usually the home team does not win on Thursday night. They usually get blown out. So it's going to be one of those games that's a throwaway game. And to me, I think we've seen the history repeat itself that we kind of need to squash these games. Just my opinion. Now we're going to go on and move on to this Odell Beckham Jr. situation. And we know in all the memes and all the jokes that were tossed out there after the Redskins game where he gets murdered by the kicking net after he throws his tantrum on the sideline. And here we are again in this upcoming week's game they had last week. And once again, he flies off the handle. And many think that this is a bit of a distraction. And yes, it's a distraction. And no, it's not a distraction. It's a distraction because it's drawing undue attention uh, to the Giants in a negative manner, mainly uh, pertaining their star wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. But Beck is basically laying out a blueprint on how to beat him. And I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but there were several tweets from uh, Des Bryant who defended him and saying that football's played with emotion, and some people don't understand that, and no harm intended, he said. And he tweets, "That's why he's my brother." And he's a guy who plays with a lot of emotion. I think Dez early in his career was a bit reckless, and his emotions did not inspire. but really divided the team and galvanized the team in critical moments, causing it to crumble. Not saying he is the catalyst of that, just saying that your actions sometimes are not can be perceived as not being upbuilding and sometimes aren't upbuilding in the way that you're getting your message across. Now, Odell Beckham wasn't, well, he did it make his feelings known, most of them off on his own. Eli having to console him to a degree, but you're laying out a blueprint that your mental toughness is not 100% and that you can be gotten kind of like Scotty Pipp. I mean, kind of like Dennis Rodman used to do. You know, he used to get in a guy's head, talk trash to him, you know, beat him up down low, and next thing you know, the guy's flipping out, getting technicals. And I think that's what guys are doing to him. Josh Norman is kind of proving that. He proved that again in the Washington game. It was his, you know, whether it was talking to him or being physical that got Odell a little bit riled up. And here we are again the following week, and he flies off the handle again. And it gets him out of his game. It gets him completely out of his game. And really, that's something that the Giants can't have and can't afford from their star wide receiver that they really depend on. They really depend on him to be able to stretch the field, to be a dominant force, to push the envelope, so to speak, so that they can open up other lanes for other wide receivers. And when that guy has been gotten the best of, well, guess what? It closes down everything else because Beckham's totally out. Not only have they forced him out of his game, he's taken himself out of the game because his frustration level has come to a boiling point. And to be honest with you, I mean, don't get me wrong, Minnesota's defense is incredible over there. But as one of the best, or what he claims to be one of the best wide receivers in the league, and at the top of his game, he's showing that his cage can be rattled, and that's not a good look because that's self-destructive to the offense. Now, I have no problem with guys playing with emotion. I think sports in general is about emotion. It's about feeling. When you play with emotion and passion, it shows. It rubs off on other people. It gets your teammates riled up and can unify a team. But there's a way to go about doing it as well. And for 2 weeks, he hasn't gone about it the right way. Now, you know, he can say that football is not fun anymore, but, you know, when it looks like to me that you have been mentally broken, I guess it's not fun. But the tough guys and the guys who are mentally tough know how to come back and know how to combat that. And I think we can use Des Bryant as an example of him learning how to channel that better. Not saying that he doesn't lose it in some moments, but he's learning how to channel that better. And if this continues, this can be a big issue for Eli in this offense. Will it divide players? We don't know how they feel about it, but it definitely doesn't unify guys when you have someone going off like a child on the sideline because someone's basically broken him or peed in his Cheerios. Well, we thank you so much for listening to this show. Again, you can get at us at straightshootingst@gmail.com. Shoot any questions over. We'll talk about it here on the show, and you can also chat with me at NotBland21 on Twitter. Y'all have a good night.